Reading body language effectively can enhance your understanding of how people are feeling and what they might be thinking. It's important to consider context and other cues like verbal communication when interpreting body language. Here are some tips to help you read body language like a pro. 1. Mirroring and matching. When people are comfortable with each other, they often subconsciously mirror each other's body language. If you notice someone matching your posture, gestures, or movements, it can indicate rapport or agreement. Conversely, a lack of mirroring may suggest disconnection. 2. Baselining. Establish a baseline for a person's typical behavior and movements. Notice how someone usually holds themselves, speaks, and reacts in various situations. Deviations from their baseline can be significant indicators of changes in mood or thoughts. 3. Microexpressions. These are brief, involuntary facial expressions that occur in a fraction of a second. They can reveal a person's true emotions, even when they try to hide them. Familiarize yourself with common microexpressions for emotions such as happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, contempt, and disgust. 4. Crossed arms and defensive posture. While crossed arms are often seen as a defensive posture, it's important to consider context. Sometimes crossed arms may simply be a comfortable position for someone. Look for other cues, such as facial expressions and other body language, to understand the person's true feelings. 5. Touch and haptics. Touch can convey a range of emotions, from warmth and intimacy to aggression and dominance. Observe the type, frequency, and duration of touch to interpret a person's intentions and comfort level. 6. Gestures and speech. Pay attention to how gestures align with speech. Inconsistent gestures, e.g., saying yes while shaking the head no, can indicate dishonesty or uncertainty. Emphatic gestures can underscore key points in a conversation. 7. Gaze and oculesics. The direction and duration of eye contact can convey different meanings. Prolonged eye contact might suggest interest, confidence, or even aggression, depending on the context. Breaking eye contact or looking down may imply submission, shyness, or discomfort. 8. Pacing and nervous habits. Repetitive movements like foot tapping, leg bouncing, or pacing can indicate nervousness, impatience, or anxiety. Observe the rhythm and intensity of these movements for more insight into the person's emotional state. 9. Cluster analysis. Look for clusters of body language signals that occur together. For instance, a person crossing their arms, avoiding eye contact, and speaking with a flat tone may suggest defensiveness or discomfort. Analyzing clusters provides a more complete picture than focusing on individual gestures. 10. Cultural considerations. Be mindful of cultural differences in body language. What may be considered a positive gesture in one culture might be seen as offensive or inappropriate in another. 11. Practice observation. To become more proficient at reading body language, practice observing people in various contexts without judgment. Pay attention to how people interact and how their body language changes in different situations. 12. Pupil dilation and constriction. The pupils of a person's eyes can offer insight into their emotional and physiological state. Dilated pupils can indicate interest, excitement, or attraction, while constricted pupils may suggest discomfort or disinterest. It's important to consider lighting conditions as well, as changes in light can also affect pupil size. 13. Speech-body language synchrony. Observe how closely a person's body language matches their speech. For example, a person nodding their head in agreement while speaking can reinforce the sincerity of their words. On the other hand, mismatches between speech and body language, for example, saying, "I'm fine," with a tense posture, can suggest that the person is not being fully transparent. 14. Adaptability. Be aware that body language can vary based on individual differences, cultural backgrounds, and contexts. Adapt your interpretations accordingly to account for these factors and avoid making assumptions based on stereotypes. 15. Contextual analysis. Consider the broader context of the situation, when interpreting body language. What might be considered a positive gesture in one setting could have a different meaning in another. Contextual cues provide valuable insights into the underlying motivations and emotions of individuals. 16. Regulate your own body language. Be mindful of your own body language, as it can influence how others perceive you and impact the dynamics of a conversation. Maintain open and confident posture. Use appropriate gestures to emphasize points and mirror the body language of others to build rapport. 17. Nonverbal leakage. Pay attention to subtle cues that betray hidden emotions or thoughts, known as nonverbal leakage. These can include fleeting facial expressions, micro-gestures, or shifts in body posture that contradict verbal statements. By recognizing nonverbal leakage, you can gain deeper insights into a person's true feelings or intentions. 18. Baseline observation. Before jumping to conclusions, establish a baseline by observing a person's typical behavior in neutral situations. This allows you to differentiate between their natural mannerisms and any deviations that might indicate specific emotions or intentions. 19. Cluster synchronization. Look for clusters of body language cues that align with a person's verbal message. When multiple nonverbal signals support what someone is saying, it enhances the credibility and authenticity of their communication. Cluster synchronization provides a more reliable interpretation of their intentions. 20. Adaptive listening. Practice active listening alongside observing body language. Pay attention to tone of voice, choice of words, and overall communication patterns to gain a comprehensive understanding of the message being conveyed. Combining auditory and visual cues enhances your ability to accurately interpret the speaker's emotions and intentions. As you continue to observe and practice reading body language, your ability to interpret nonverbal cues will improve. Remember to be patient and open-minded, as it can take time to develop this skill. Always cross-reference with verbal cues and the context of the situation for the most accurate interpretation. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content.